The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Ely City Council meeting, November 10th, 2022. That was all fingers, I hope.
What's that?
That was all your fingers, I hope.
Just one real fast.
That's what I thought. You learned quick. For better.
Okay, cool.
How you feeling? I got a remedy for you.
Good evening. We're going to call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have someone for the invocation this evening? Okay. We have roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams Harper,
Present.
Councilman Plangus, Councilman Carson,
Here.
Councilman Spear,
Here.
Councilman Oliver,
Yep.
City Clerk Lee, here, City Treasurer, HR Director Trask, here, City Attorney Cahoon,
Here.
Public Works Supervisor Frank Kraft is absent tonight, City Engineer Almer, City Fire Chief Stork,
Here.
City Police Chief Henroy is absent tonight, City Building Official Peterson,
Here.
City Municipal Judge Coster is on by Zoom, and that is all.
We'll move on to number 2, public comment per City Council action October 27, 2022, and in accordance with Nevada Revised Statutes 241.020, public comment at the beginning of City Council meetings is narrowed to agenda items only. The public comment period at the close of City Council meetings is for any matter relevant to or within the authority of the public body. Comments not exceeding 3 minutes in length will be accepted from the general public in attendance. If any are made, there may be discussion upon those comments. No vote, decision, or action may be taken upon matters raised under this item until it is formally placed on the agenda. Comments during discussion items will not be accepted from the general public. Section 7.05 of the Nevada Open Meeting Law Manual indicates that the public body may prohibit comment if the content of the comment is a topic that is not relevant to or within the authority of the public body, or if the content of the comments is willfully disruptive of the meeting by being irrelevant, repetitious, slanderous, offensive, inflammatory, irrational, or amounting to personal attacks or interfering with the rights of other speakers. Do we have public comment?
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Madam Pro Tem, my property at 622 High Street was vandalized and there was an attempted break-in. On that same day, Mrs. Nari and her son Tony Nari, neighbors, had vandals access their property, and Tony Nari received the most damage. The street light at 567 Ely Street has been out for years.
Well, the point of order. That's right. It's not on the agenda. You just read what he's supposed to talk about.
When did you guys change it? And you're not addressing any of the items that have been brought up before?
At the end of the meeting, you have an attorney explain it to you.
Yeah, George,
Yeah,
I
explain.
believe it was at the last meeting, there was an item on the agenda to limit the public comment at the beginning of the meeting to agenda items only. And then the end of the meeting, the public comment at that point will accept any item or any topic that the public would like to address City Council.
Councilor, there's no way someone can address in 3 minutes items on the agenda.
That's
the time to take over?
permissible under
So,
MRS.
Mr.
That's
Jackson,
how the-
you'll be able to restate what you're talking about at the end of the meeting. We'll be happy to hear that.
I've got plenty of items and I've not gotten one answer, madam. That needs to change.
So I understand, but you are welcome to come back at the end of the meeting and talk
Okay,
to
now,
us about
one of
that.
the items I want to support Mr. Nall here. Am I going to be able to talk during that open meeting portion, or do I have to state my cause now?
It's a public hearing, so you will be able to get up and speak.
Okay, Madam Pro Tem, on your agenda item 9-2, the Murray Street project phase 3 does not meet ADA standards. Power poles have not been relocated. Wheelchairs, those in wheelchairs do not have proper access to sidewalks. And I've not received a copy of the contracts regarding phase 2 and phase 3 as requested. We requested that numerous times. It was on the agenda, but it was never in the packet. I want to know what was stated in there and if it was addressed to Mount Weir to move those poles and relocate. You've had 2 to 3 years, plenty of time. That's it for now, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chachas. Okay. Is there any other public comment? Do we have any on Zoom? All right, we'll move on to number 3, discussion for possible action, approval of agenda, including removal of agenda items. Okay, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion? Can we take a vote, please? All in favor? All opposed? Okay, we'll move on to number 4, city department reports. Do we have something from the fire chief this evening?
Just give you guys a little update. Old Flaherty did get the boiler, showed up yesterday afternoon. So the plan is, I think they're gonna look at trying to get it installed on Monday. They want to do it right now with the weather getting as cold as it is. They said it's a good possibility. The first day, maybe 2 days, they might not even have it up and running. So they figured they'd wait, start on Monday when the weather's supposed to climb maybe 5 more degrees. So we do got some heat inside, and there's some propane heaters, so we don't have to worry about none of the equipment freezing. So that should be going. And then we had 2 of our full-time employees and 1 more of our volunteers just passed their firefighter 1. So got that going, and I'll be going on vacation starting next Tuesday, and I won't be back till after Thanksgiving. I've already got it lined up for somebody to continue submitting the ambulance billing, so that'll all be getting taken care of while I'm gone. And any day-to-day operations should be able to be handled by the assistant chief on duty if there's questions. I will be available by cell phone intermittently, so if somebody does got to get a hold of me, leave a message, shoot me a text, and when I have service, I can get back to it.
Extend kudos to Jacob and Bodie for qualifying now as instructor 2 certified athletes.
Yeah, so that'd be good for us, because right now, when we gotta get stuff from the state, it's like, we're having to get them to come out, like this last bunch of testing, Jacob was able to administer the testing. So with our other instructors now, we can set up, have somebody be the lead instructor, do it all, and then Jacob or Bodie can actually request the testing from the state and do it all, and we can be doing everything in-house, not with the, you know how it is dealing with fire marshal's office. I mean, could be 3 months, could be 5 months, so at least now we're on our schedule instead of on their schedule, so that's a huge accomplishment.
And when you say in-house, that this extends to the county fire.
Oh yeah, this is anywhere in this area. I mean, if we want to teach class, people from Lincoln County come, whatever, we're set up so we can just do it all in-house with, all we got to get is the initial approval from the fire marshal's office. After that, we can run the whole rest of the program ourselves right up through the testing.
Perfect, kudos. So, good job.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
Okay, a report from the police chief this evening. Okay, we'll move on to the municipal court judge. Is he with us this evening?
He says he's there.
Can we hear him?
I think it's because the speakers are out.
So we're gonna have to. Because I can hear him.
Come back to him, I'll text him now.
Okay, so we'll go back around. City clerk, please.
I didn't come.
I have a question for the city clerk. Since public works supervisor's not here, are we putting together a list of surplus vehicles, equipment we might want to put out for bid? And I see some pickups just sitting around now because we've got new vehicles in the fleet. Is there
Why am
anything?
I doing that? I haven't asked.
Okay, just maybe throw that question out there.
Yeah,
Maybe they're backup, or we got new vehicles we don't need to be sitting on,
okay.
one we can possibly surplus out. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir.
City attorney?
I have nothing to report unless there's questions.
City treasurer? Nothing this evening. City public works supervisor? We'll move on. City water operator? City engineer?
We did a quick drill, we assisted the fire, not fire chief, but the fire station, the contractor was doing some of that work. He needed some assistance with his dealings with the state fire marshal, so he came in, we took care of that stuff for him to keep that proceeding along, because we prioritized that knowing that they were in that heat or had no heat. And so the other thing we've been working heavily on is our SHPL and our EA for, we just completed the one for Bell Avenue, which is our CDBG project. So that one, we're just finalizing and hopefully we'll actually ship out tomorrow. The other thing that we're working on is our sewer portion of our CDBG project, which is Parker Street down in central Ely. That one's a little larger one because we've expanded that area to include the area for our sewer earmark and everything else that's coming through this project. So that's also one of our top priorities because once we get that thing in and approved, then that will actually open the portal so we can receive that funding from water earmark. We've been working on the landfill. We flew the landfill back in July, and we're just finalizing the quantities and estimating the life of that landfill, so we should have that very, very shortly. And we're also working on the landfill, doing that south diversion ditch in case it is a storm has it wipe out or wash out the landfill in the flash floods. Any other questions?
I have one, you probably don't have an answer, maybe you do, you guys have weekly meetings. I wanted to ask, Mike's not here, on the transmission that's out for failure in the landfill, do we have any idea what that cost may be? You know, it's quoted, being quoted by Wheeler. Anybody have an idea? Treasurer?
I'm not sure as Mike has received the quote yet. He hasn't mentioned that to me. But this week has been pretty hectic with the election and he had to run to Vegas to get a trailer and then another run.
You know, what, we just replaced the engine in that, was did that come under budget? Jeanette, do you know the engine replacement?
I, off the top of my head,
Okay, I'll wait,
I don't.
I'll wait till next week. Thank you.
Mayor for County Treasurer, Judge Coster texted me his report.
Okay.
Okay. I wanted to notify the council that both clerks and I will receive state-provided training in December. The schedule is not firm yet, but I believe both clerks will attend in Reno on December 5th and 6th. I will attend the training by Zoom later in December. The training topic is any traffic case handling starting in January.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, city building official?
Happy to answer the question.
I got something, Craig. I've been out of town for about 3 weeks. I just want to know if we got some new streets. On your city report, the very first one, City of Ely, Crown Castle, Vista Grande. What is that and where is that?
That was a power service for communications tower over at Lower Squaw over here.
We're at Lower Peak, okay. And then just a miss in an area on the county report for the T-Mobile BLM Snoopy's Doghouse. What is that?
That's also a communication tower.
Okay. And then the fourth one down, John Longinetti, you have Parker Avenue and the county listed belongs to the city. I will just transfer. probably makes no big difference, but that's a good report you guys put out too. Thank you, that's it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Foundation report, Roland?
Good afternoon, everyone. In regards to the locomotives, we have locomotive 93 is out of service. She needs repairs to her valve chest, and she'll probably be down for a couple of months. But the steam season's over, so we should be in pretty good shape. And we're still working on locomotive 40. We've already seen Back to the Future, where Marty has the little hovercraft board. That's what locomotive 40 looks like now. She has no wheels underneath her at all. So, in October, we carried 1,906 passengers, and that's an 8% increase compared to 2021. And it was the largest October we've had in our 35 years of operation. Year to date, we've carried 14,442 passengers, and that's a 3% increase compared to 2021. And since operations began in 1987, we've carried 344,803 passengers. Our economic impact for the month of October was $213,472, and economic impact year to date is $1,617,504. This weekend, we are running the community food trains. Those trains are, the ticket price is a can of food or non-perishable food. And they did quite well last year, so we added the second one. And we have tickets up for Santa's Reindeer Flyer. And the ticket sales for those have been brisk. We're 30% over last year right now. So. And we do have the 2023 Sunset Stars and Champagne trains on our website, and those tickets are selling well too. And we also have the 2023 hands-on history programs on the website also. So, and those sales have just started. That's about all that I have, unless anyone has a question.
Okay.
I'd like to ask you a couple of questions for some answers that I have to give to people who ask me about. The foundation received 3 buildings in the bill from Mrs. Allen.
Oh, from Mr. Allen, correct.
And I've been told that you are going to rent them or sell them or whatever.
No, none of the above. We're going to develop them. One building is, we're planning on using as a record storage building, an archive building. The other building we'd like to use to tell the story of McGill and Kennecott and copper development there, but we have no plans to sell any of the buildings.
And the other question that I have coming from people in McGill, unfortunately, they keep hearing that there is $10 million that is going to be spent there.
And that's correct. It's $10 million from the federal government. They were supposed to give us the money last December, and then they were supposed to give it in July, and I've not heard from them since. So, the money...
Well, what is the purpose of it?
Oh, it's to open up the track to the McGill Depot. Yes.
That's what I thought. But
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure before I answer.
No, good question. No, that money is specifically to open up the track to the McGill Depot and to make some improvements to the McGill Depot too. So,
Okay, thank you very much.
you're very welcome. All right.
Are there any other questions? Thank you. Okay, we have reports, and we'll start with Mr. Oliver. Do you have anything?
Thank you for referring to Mr. Oliver. We call a lot of different things. I'd like to extend congratulations to our new council people who's coming on board good. I'm glad you guys ready to jump into this. Good luck to you. Thanks for showing up and thank you.
Is there anything else? Mr. Spears?
I don't have anything.
No report.
I have no report, I have a couple of questions I'd like to know quick. Actually, it's Mr. Hallward. Are there any developments or any intention of any plans for the infrastructure of the city of Ely?
Yes, and,
You're with Main Street America, aren't you, or USA, probably?
well, the money that's in that, community support fund, you know, we set aside $1.8 million for infrastructure within the city as part of the ongoing redevelopment, not redevelopment, improvements in our water sewer infrastructure. So yes, there's $1.8 million set on that alone out of that one fund, plus ongoing through your budgeting process. So yes, there is, and I don't have a list of it.
Well, thank you.
Anything else? And I don't have anything at this time. Oh, I didn't see that. From our mayor, there was an approval of a special event license to Biggins Barbecue and More on October 29th, 2022 for a food booth at the Learning Bridge Charter School Trunk or Treat held at Learning Bridge Charter School, 1400 East 13th Street. Is there anything else? Well, it's not 5:30, so how would you like us to? Can we just go to the next thing? Okay. Well, no, we need to go to 9. Okay. All right, item 9, items for discussion, possible action of the Ely City Council as recommended by the Municipal Utilities Board. Board members, City Engineer Almer, discussion for possible action, approval of Mark Ridley's will serve application to tap the city's water line at 1689 Great Basin Boulevard for 1.5 water service and 13 fixtures with 27 drainage fixture units.
Utility Board recommended approval this morning.
Is this a apartment complex or what is this?
It's a restaurant.
Restaurant? Okay.
That's what?
A restaurant.
Okay, now, on that page, it's pretty hard to read all those listings there.
Yes.
The very last, can you just tell me what the, like, completed hookups, 277, reserved to add capacity, I'm sorry, just the final 3 numbers are what I care for. You can tell me in a quick, easy way, how much
I don't have
capacity.
that sheet in front of me, and I probably can't read it right now.
Yeah, it just says capacity remaining.
Yeah, that's a running total, so every time that we come in, get a request for a will serve, we'll put those numbers in and then subtract it from the total. And so
Okay.
L1 is the total we have left to.
Left. So when it says 5,375, that's residential,
Equivalents.
Equivalents, okay. and then the sewer, 207, I guess. You gotta have water to have sewer, I guess, it goes together. Okay, all right, thank you.
But that's the running total, so that when I stand here and say, hey, I ran that total, we still got the numbers, so we're good to go.
Okay, good enough, thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve. I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. We'll move on. Board members, City Engineer Almer, discussion for possible action, approval of Murray Street Sewer Main Upgrade Project Phase 3, contact change order number 1.
And so this is for our Murray Street project that was just recently completed up there. This is a few things that the contract goes out, and what the contract is based on is estimated quantities, and at the end of the day, what we pay is actual quantities that are completed. And so the first one there is for the French drain system. It is a little bit longer than what was anticipated there, so this basically changes for the increase in work associated with that. The other one there is for the biggest one there for the 10,000 was for water and sewer connection. At the time that we designed that stuff, we didn't realize that house actually got sewer on Murray Street because the house is actually on Mill Street. And then so they actually service out their back, through their backyard into Murray Street. So when we discovered that, we obviously connected their house up to new sewer and new water, and that's got that taken care of. So that change is, the changes are based on unit costs. So it's the same cost as we paid for every other service down that road. So it was just the fact we had to pay for additional service or sewer and water for that. And the last one of the upgrade there is the project had required specified 3/4-inch water meter pits. Due to the supply chain issues, 3/4 water pits were not available. And so the only thing they could do to continue on was to get 1-inch water pits. And so this is strictly just the difference in cost between 3/4-inch and 1-inch water pit.
Okay, question for you. On the 10,395, the meter pit lump sum, 3574, so that lump sum, you said it was for one resident, but then on the page with the change order narrative, shows a meter pit of $566.13 each, times 8 of them was $4,529. So the meter pit on change order 2, one of them was $3,574 versus the 566 each. Because on the second change order 3, we talked about, total lump sum 4,715,
Okay.
which is
Yes,
down.
that's a very good, and so what it is, that is the total over here for 4,700 is the additional cost above and beyond the 3/4 meter pits. That's not 1-inch meter pits for the 4. So that was, of the additional meters that we got, it was additional, say, $500 more for each meter pit. And that was, when we come back to the $4,700, that's the additional for each meter pit. And so what this 3,500 is, a normal meter pit on the project was like 3,000. Then when you come in and add the 500 for the cost difference between here, we get the 3,500.
Okay, so I'm still confused. Change order 2, you're including the, 3574, and it says down there, upgrade 3/4 to 1 inch. So why is change order number 3 even needed if you're updating it on change order 2?
Because what change order number 2 is here is, that is, we had to put a new meter in, a new service. And so this is the cost, that 3,500 is the cost of the original meter plus the $500 additional for the 3,500. And so the other change order that we have in here for the 4,500 is, we had, I believe, I'm shooting from the hip here, 8 of them.
That's what shows 8.
Yeah, and so there was 8, and this 4,500 was the additional on top of that. So you take the 8 divided by 4,500, and that's when you get the 500 that we added to the original price, and that's how we got the 3,500 for that meter pit.
Okay, so then, again, I'm asking this out of ignorance because Kurt could probably answer it, but again, I haven't had a chance to talk. On the back page of the invoice that, they pointed out that they were back ordered. I understand the locking lid, insulated pad, and all that stuff just fits any of those meters, 1 inch or 3/4. But what's the 1x9 3/4 meter item? What is that on the quote? Is that carried over? I mean, it's just not much money, $22 each, but it doesn't show up on change order number 3 narrative, I mean, all those numbers are vocabulary.
Are you talking on the
quote
question
from
of that
Western?
quote? Okay.
Yeah, the second item, 1x9, 8 of them. I mean, they never billed us anything on that $1,656. I'm just wondering, why isn't that, whatever that IBR thing?
That idler is, that's what goes in between, because there's not an actual meter in there now, that idler is just a jump
Okay,
where the meter will go in the future.
okay, good enough. And then that must be included, or that came, because, yeah, all right, that makes sense. So everything, the 180, the total 1,656, they shipped that to us, or to Rex, and they put everything in, because it'll all fit in the 1 inch meter.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. Sorry for taking the time on that, I understand better. Thank you.
do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second?
Oh, can I say something? I apologize.